In 2023, a couple in San Francisco, both making $120,000 per year, well above the median income, were told by their landlord that their rent was going up to $4,200 per month for a one-bedroom apartment. They had two choices: pay $50,000 a year in rent or leave California. They chose Texas. They weren't alone. 700,000 people made the same choice in just 4 years. For the first time since the gold rush of 1850, California is shrinking. A moving truck shouldn't cost more than a month's rent, but in California, it does. The price to rent a U-Haul one way out of Los Angeles to Austin is over $2,400. The same truck, same company, coming back the other direction costs barely $900. That's not a glitch. That's the market screaming that more people want out than in. In 2024, U-Haul tracked more than 2.5 million one-way rentals nationwide. California led the nation in outbound moves, with demand so lopsided that rental companies literally ran out of trucks. The price gap is a receipt for the exodus. It's not just trucks. The numbers are everywhere. The state lost about 700,000 residents in 4 years, more than any time since the gold rush. For the first time in 170 years, California's population is shrinking. Net out-migration now averages 300,000 people a year. That's not a trickle. It's a stampede. And the people leaving, they're not just the rich or the retired. They're teachers, nurses, software engineers, small business owners, people you'd expect to be thriving here. Corporate giants are making the same calculation. Tesla moved its headquarters to Texas. Oracle and HP followed suit, taking thousands of jobs with them. When companies vote with their feet, it's not about the weather, it's about the bottom line. And if you want a real-time indicator, just check the U-Haul app. The more desperate Californians are to leave, the higher the price climbs. It's the invisible tax on escape. Every statistic, every receipt, every empty truck yard tells the same story. The California dream is being loaded into moving vans and driven east. The question is, what's pushing them out? The answer starts with the cost of simply having a place to live. Imagine walking past a rundown bungalow with peeling paint and a sagging roof. In California, that teardown lists for $1.1 million and gets multiple offers. The median home price statewide hovers around $790,000. 7 out of 10 families cannot even dream of buying. For most, the only way to get a key is to inherit it. The numbers do not just look bad on paper. They hit you every month. Renting a 2-bedroom in a mid-tier city, that is $2,600 if you can find one. In the Bay Area or Los Angeles, it is north of $3,000. Rents have jumped 30% in just 3 years. The rule of thumb says you should not spend more than 30% of your income on housing. In California, even solidly middle-class earners are shelling out 45%, sometimes more. Teachers, nurses, and engineers are splitting rent with strangers or commuting 2 hours each way just to survive. Try running the numbers yourself. Take that $790,000 median home. With a 6% mortgage and 20% down, the monthly payment is over $4,300 before property taxes and insurance. Add HOA fees, and you need to clear $120,000 a year just to keep housing costs at the so-called affordable threshold. Miss that mark, and you are not buying, you are renting, and rents are rising even faster than incomes. It is not just the unlucky or the unskilled. Even high earners are boxed out. A software developer making 6 figures cannot afford a starter home without a second job or a co-borrower. The American dream here comes with a price tag that does not match reality. The math does not work, and when the numbers do not add up, people start looking for the exit. You pay more to live in California than anywhere else in America. That's not a slogan. It's a bill that hits you every single paycheck. State income tax reaches up to 13.3%, the highest in the nation. Even if you're not a millionaire, you're still handing over 6 or 7 cents of every dollar you earn. Go out for groceries, fill up your car, buy school supplies. There's a sales tax that can hit 10.75% in some counties. Gas tax is 68 cents per gallon, baked into every commute, every delivery, every mile you drive just to keep your job. And property taxes? Sure, Prop 13 keeps rates down for people who bought decades ago. But if you're new or you move, you're paying full freight on a home that costs twice the national average. Add it up. A teacher making $68,000 a year sees $4,700 disappear to state taxes and then pays $600 a month just to drive to work. A family scraping together a down payment gets hammered by closing costs and a tax bill that never shrinks. Every year, the state collects hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue. So where does it all go? Roads crumble, schools cut staff, and the DMV still loses your paperwork. You pay luxury prices and get bargain bin services. That is not just unfair, it feels like a broken promise. Tent cities snake under freeway ramps and spill into downtown. In 2023, California's official homeless count hit 209,000, nearly 1 in 3 homeless people in the entire country. Families step around shopping carts and blue tarps on the way to school. Parents double-check car doors at red lights. In the Bay Area, more than 41,000 people sleep outside, and in Los Angeles County, it is 57,000. The lines for shelter grow longer, but the tents multiply faster than the beds. It is not just the streets. Power flickers off without warning. Between 2022 and 2024, the state logged 27 rolling blackouts. Sometimes it is a heat wave, sometimes a wildfire. The outcome is the same. Millions lose electricity, food spoils, and the air fills with the whine of generators. Even the basics, water, light, a safe place to sleep, feel fragile. Then comes the blow nobody saw coming. In 2023, State Farm and Allstate stopped writing new wildfire insurance policies for huge swaths of California. For homeowners in high-risk zones, renewal letters turned into cancellation notices. Premiums soared from $1,200 to $6,800 a year. Lenders demanded proof of coverage, no insurance, no mortgage. That is how a retired couple in San Diego, who had worked their whole lives for a beachside home, ended up forced to sell. Their only option was to start over in Tampa, Florida, where insurance is cheap and the biggest risk is a thunderstorm, not losing everything in a single spark. Fear is not just in the headlines. It is in every parent who checks the locks, every family that lights candles in a blackout, every retiree who opens a letter and realizes they cannot stay. The collapse is not theoretical. It is happening, and it is pushing people out. The escape routes out of California all seem to point in the same direction, east. Texas is the bullseye, and Austin is the new promised land. The irony is that Californians are running from high prices, only to drive them up somewhere else. Austin's housing dashboard reads like a fever chart. Median home prices jumped 45% in just 4 years, with bidding wars that would make a Bay Area realtor blush. City Council minutes from February 2024 sound like déjà vu. Texans are fighting to keep property taxes low, while newcomers argue for more spending on schools and roads. The ripple effect is real. Rents in Austin now push $2,100 a month, and longtime locals grumble that their city feels less like Texas and more like Silicon Prairie. Remember that San Francisco couple who traded $1 million condo for a fresh start? Their new neighborhood in Austin is filling up with California plates, and the price tags to match. The math works better, but the California inflation is coming along for the ride. Some people do not leave, not because they are thriving, but because they are stuck. The rules of the game are not fair, and who wins depends on when you bought in. Take the retired couple in Sacramento who paid off their house in the 90s. Thanks to Proposition 13, their property tax bill barely budges, less than $6,000 a year, even as home values triple around them. For them, California is still affordable. But for a public school teacher in Oakland, the story is different. She earns $68,000 a year. After her school closed, she was reassigned to a campus 90 minutes away. Gas alone eats up $600 a month. The dream of living where she teaches is impossible. She is not alone. District records show a 12% turnover among teachers in high-cost counties. Some stay because they hope things will get better. Others stay because they cannot afford to leave. The divide is growing, those protected by old rules and those trapped by new realities. Proposition 13, passed in 1978, capped property taxes for long-time homeowners, locking in low rates no matter how high property values climb. New buyers, though, pay far more, leaving local governments scrambling to fill budget gaps with higher sales taxes and fees. Zoning laws freeze neighborhoods, blocking new apartments and affordable housing. When Mission Verde proposed 495 homes for working families, lawsuits dragged the project through court for 18 months. By the end, 1/3 of the homes were lost and costs soared. Meanwhile, California's pension funds, CalPERS and CalSTRS, carry unfunded liabilities of $140 billion, draining city budgets year after year. Politicians blame each other, red versus blue, but the squeeze is bipartisan. The rules that once fueled growth now trap the middle class, with the levers for change jammed tight. Right now, every moving truck is a confession. The dream changed. For the teacher priced out, or the tech worker with 3 roommates, the real California cost isn't just money, it's hope. The exodus is a warning. How long before the math doesn't work for you? Tell me below.